Lila Jackson, and we are doing the video class lesson plan for Ministry of Teaching with Dr. Graham as a professor. And we will come from the book of Ruth, chapter 4, starting at verse 1. Open this Bible. Okay, we will begin to talk about. We will talk about Boaz going up to the gate and sit there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spoke came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one, turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. What I'm getting ready to discuss is Boaz being Ruth Redeemer. We're going to name it Ruth Redeemer Lives. And so we're going to use Boaz as being the Redeemer for Ruth in a situation where, let's start from the beginning of the book of Ruth. We would discuss that Ruth was one of the daughter-in-laws of Naomi that had moved to the land of Moab. In the beginning, Naomi had married Elimelech, and they left the land of Judah, Bethlehem, Judah, because there was a famine in the land. And so, with the famine in the land going on, during the marriage, he wanted to feed his family, so he went to the land of Moab, because he felt like that would be the place for them to survive during the famine at Bethlehem, Judah. Here I have a poster board showing how far Bethlehem, Judah is from Moab. And you can say in the natural, we could say it would be maybe 20 to 30 mile journey, maybe not that long. I'm assuming that how long was the journey, because they had to go from Bethlehem and then go around the Dead Sea through different other countries, other places that was there, Mount Nemo, Mount Gilboa, and all these different mountains that was around the Dead Sea. So they had to go from one side, from Bethlehem, Judah, to the other side of Moab. Okay, and then we're going to talk about more about Ruth's situation with Naomi. Naomi's husband died in the land of Moab. They had been there for 10 years once they left Judah, Bethlehem, Judah. They was there for 10 years, the husband, and her two sons died. Her husband and her two sons died. What happened? One question we would have the class to understand is that we want to know what happened with the husband and the two sons. Why did only the men die? Why didn't the women die when they was in Bethlehem, Judah? In Moab. So here, if you look at it, being a Jewish descendant, Naomi was from the tribe of Judaism. From the tribe of Israel. So that's why it's important not to, I believe, to mix spiritual cultures together, because Israel was a blessed culture, and because Elimelech left his blessed place and went to a cursed place. Elimelech ended up dying. From a lot of different commentaries today I find out that it doesn't say in the book of Ruth what Elimelech died from. It just said he died from a judgment from God's hand. So I want to clear up some stuff, because if we look at it in some of my notes that I have, we find out that the sons also died, as well as the father. So why are we looking at why did the father? Let's look at the question. Am I confusing y'all? Because I'm confusing myself. Why? Let's look at the question of why did only the men die in the wilderness? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Can y'all get that?
I wanted to know what caused them to just go over there
It was a famine in the land.
Famine in the land. Okay.
And so when you have a famine in the land, he went to go try to find somewhere to feed his family.
Okay.
Like most people in the natural would, instead of staying at Bethlehem, Judah, where they was blessed because the times got hard, instead of standing still and trusting God like he did when people was in the wilderness. When people was in the wilderness, they decided to travel and leave and go somewhere else to feed his family.
Why don't you start over?
So